Association of Black Journalists. You guys invited this white, racist ex-president Donald Trump up there, huh? You guys asked him the tough questions that the black community wanted to know the answers to, huh? The clips have been going viral. Well, guess what? One of those black journalists that belong to this association came online and stated that he asked both Donald Trump and Kamala Harris to come and sit down and address the black community. But guess what? Only one person accepted the invitation, and it just happened to be this white racist man that you guys keep talking about, ex-president Donald Trump, former president Donald Trump. At least the motherfucker showed up. But y'all keep saying Kamala black, Kamala this, Kamala that. Well, since she's saying that people ain't walking it like they talk it, since now we quoting rap lyrics now because you black now, why you didn't show up for the black journalists? But it's all power to the people. After 44,000 black women got on the line and raised 1.8 million in just a couple of hours, but you can't come sit your down and talk to these black journalists and answer some hard questions, but the white racist man can, huh? Get the fuck out of here. And they want us to believe that Donald Trump is scared to debate Kamala Harris. And Kamala Harris can't even show up. I just seen Donald Trump get asked some very hard questions and get talked to out the side of their motherfucking neck because they was talking to him crazy. They was talking to him crazy. I don't care what y'all say. They were talking to him crazy. And he still sat there and he still showed up. Why couldn't Kamala Harris show up? These are black people, in fact, right?
She's making some strong points there, you know? But the reason why Kamala did not show up is because she doesn't care. They do this every 4 years. It's the same song and dance. Oh my goodness, Republicans racist, Republicans bad, this and that. Put us back in office. We'll help fix the problems. And they never fix anything. They only make things worse. I mean, the great example, look at Chicago, aka Chirac, right? Democrats have been running that city for 100 years. And how well has that gone? Look at California. Run by Gavin Newsom, one of the shining stars of the Democrat Party. How well is that going? Exactly. I rest my case. Anyway, yeah, Donald Trump walked into, the fire, and he stood there and took it. Even though it was rude and nasty, and like she said, the clips are going viral. We're going to get into those clips here shortly. But the fact that he showed up says everything that I need to know. Where's Kamala's not showing up to anything like that, right? She's too busy going to black cities, right? Because she was just in Atlanta the other day, and I showed the video of that. Then she went to Houston, right? Kamala's too busy trying to pander. She ain't got no time for the black journalists, right? She got to pander. Goodness gracious. But Trump is this horrible, terrible, no good, very bad guy, right?
Every year, every presidential election cycle, we invite the presidential candidates to come. We extend that to anyone who is a nominee, and in this case, we have two presumptive nominees. We invited both of them. We got a yes from one of them. We'd love to get a yes from Kamala as well, but in this case, this is an important hour. We have people whose lives are depending on what happens in November. For us as journalists, people who go into and have very uncomfortable conversations for the sake of our members, this is an important time. This is a great opportunity for us to vet the candidate right here on our ground. And that's what we did. A lot of people are speculating. These discussions have gone on in earnest, in true earnest, probably more than a month, back and forth with both teams, even before it was Kamala and was Biden. You'd have to ask them about why they eventually said yes, but even early on, we had the inclination that both were interested in being a part of what we're doing. We were careful about making sure that certain people were involved just because we know they have a reputation of getting answers to questions. In addition to that, we are now working, and part of the reason why I'm late getting here to breakfast and trying to rush to get in is because we're working on trying to make sure that as he speaks, we fact check. And we're not doing something where people are allowed to spew out information, misinformation, disinformation. It's part of the title of our convention, and we take it seriously. As a course of my work, I go into hurricanes. I've sat down and interviewed a member of the KKK running for office. It is our jobs as journalists to have those uncomfortable conversations so that the people who count on us to inform them get the information from the source. And I hope as a journalism organization, National Association of Black Journalists, we take that portion seriously. Now, I understand some people have a feeling about this. I understand people are disappointed. I understand people are upset. It is our job also to offer that opportunity for those candidates to be here. And not doing that would not be the right thing.
Facts. That's not journalism. You know, there are some folks who are claiming to be disappointed that that they invited Trump, which says everything you need to know. The party that accuses Republicans of wanting to be these dictators and authoritarians and rulers of the United States, they want to shut out the leading candidate, right? The Republican nominee from speaking. They want to silence him. It's not Republicans that are saying, oh, no, Kamala can't speak. She can't show up. She can't do this. She can't. No, Kamala can do whatever she want to do. She can show up wherever she want to show up. It's Democrats. Oh, no, Trump can't come there. How dare you invite Donald Trump? We don't want to hear him. We don't want to let him speak. You shouldn't be letting him talk. Oh. You see? You see the hypocrisy there? See the hypocrisy? But let's get into a couple of these viral clips, and this is the way it opened. Check it out.
By addressing the elephant in the room, sir. A lot of people did not think it was appropriate for you to be here today. You have pushed false claims about some of your rivals, from Nikki Haley to former President Barack Obama, saying that they were not born in the United States, which is not true. You have told 4 congresswomen of color who were American citizens to go back to where they came from. You have used words like animal and rabid to describe black district attorneys. You've attacked black journalists, calling them a loser, saying the questions that they ask are, quote, stupid and racist. You've had dinner with a white supremacist at your Mar-a-Lago resort. So my question, sir, now that you are asking black supporters to vote for you, why should black voters trust you after you have used language like that?
Well, first of all, I don't think I've ever been asked a question in such a horrible manner. First question. You don't even say, hello, how are you? Are you with ABC? Because I think they're a fake news network, a terrible network. And I think it's disgraceful that I came here in good spirit. I love the black population of this country. I've done so much for the black population of this country. Including employment, including opportunity zones with Senator Tim Scott of South Carolina, which is one of the greatest programs ever for black workers and black entrepreneurs. I've done so much, and and I say this, historically black colleges and universities were out of money, they were stone cold broke, and I saved them, and I gave them long-term financing, and nobody else was doing it. I think it's a very rude introduction. I don't know exactly why you would do something like that. And let me go a step further. I was invited here, and I was told my opponent, whether it was Biden or Kamala, I was told my opponent was going to be here. It turned out my opponent isn't here. You invited me under false pretense. And then you said, you can't do it with Zoom. Well, where's Zoom? She's going to do it with Zoom, and she's not coming. And then you were half an hour late. Just so we understand, I have too much respect for you to be late. They couldn't get their equipment working or something was wrong.
Mr. President, I would love
if you
can answer the question on your rhetoric and why you
I have
believe
answered the
that black voters
question.
should trust you with another 4
I have
years.
been the best president for the black population since Abraham Lincoln. That's my answer.
Better than President Johnson,
That's my
who signed the
answer.
Voting Rights Act?
And for you to start off a question and answer period, especially when you're 35 minutes late because you couldn't get your equipment to work, in such a hostile manner, I think it's a disgrace.
Let me just ask a follow-up.
Notice she brought up Lyndon Baines Johnson, who famously said, we're going to have these N-words voting Democrat for the next 100 years or 200 years. Yeah, that guy. That's the guy that they look up to. Great guy. Okay, great guy. But then there was also, and I didn't save the clip because I'm not going to put the guy on here. Nah, not doing it. But there was also, a Democrat influencer who was accusing Trump's handlers of pulling Trump off the stage early after, 30 something minutes. Well, Trump was scheduled to speak for an hour. They were 30 minutes late on getting him on the stage because of, technical difficulties, which, hey, stuff happens. So the whole narrative that this Democrat influencer that I will not name and will not show, the whole narrative that person's trying to push of, Trump's interview went so terribly that his handlers pulled him off the stage. No, an hour had already rolled past, an hour plus actually, and he's a busy guy, so he had to go. He was scheduled for an hour. He stayed longer than an hour because he was backstage for over a half an hour and stood up and got on stage for over a half an hour. So, I mean, that's just simple math there. That's over an hour long. So, sorry, got some other things I am scheduled to do that I need to get to. So, I've been here. So, just that Democrat influence, they try to like twist things to make it seem and sound as if, they're winning or Donald Trump is this bad person or Donald Trump did terribly. And it's just not true. Not true at all. But let's get into another one of the questions. Because, hey, listen, Donald Trump, he did masterfully in this, in my opinion, in a hostile environment, which Democrats never have to walk into, right? And they never would. Okay. These people, these ladies up here on the stage would have never asked, any tough questions to Kamala, for example. They never would have asked her, why did you why were you the vice president for a guy that you called racist? Why were you his vice president? Why did you accept that? Never would have asked Kamala that. They never would have asked Joe Biden, why did you say if you don't vote for me, then you ain't black? They never would have asked that question. But as soon as Trump gets on stage, we got to put on this tough interview. Like, stop it.
But if you win, you'll still be president at 82, which is older than Biden is right now.
But not mentally. Look, mentally.
Here's the question.
He's shot. But most people.
Would you consider?
Most people. I know many people in
Yeah.
their 80s and their 90s that are in great shape. Some of our greatest leaders. You look at throughout the world history, the greatest leaders, some of the greatest leaders in the world were in their 80s.
But here's the question. Would you consider stepping down if you felt that your health was declining? Or would you?
Oh, absolutely.
And who would
I think I'd know.
How would you make that decision?
I think I'd know. Look, if I came onto a stage like this and I got treated so rudely as this woman treated me.
Oh, my goodness.
And I'm fine with it because she was very rude, sir. Very rude. That wasn't a question. She
Sir,
didn't ask
you
me
can
a
answer the
question.
question.
She gave a statement. That wasn't a question.
I repeated your
answer the
statement, sir,
question.
actually.
You said you would. You would
Oh,
make that
absolutely.
decision
If
to
I
step
thought
down.
that I was failing in some way, I want people to be sharp. I'll go a step further. I want anybody running for president to take an aptitude test, to take a cognitive test. I think it's a great idea. And I took 2 of them and I aced them.
Well,
I took 2 of them. But let me ask you.
Yeah.
I would like to have people running for president, and I don't mean because they're 75 or 85. I think anybody running, I'd like to do it. People say it's not constitutional. I would like to have something passed where you can do it. I think we should know. I mean, I've watched what's happened in the last couple of years under this gentleman, and our country is a mess. We have inflation. We have the millions of people falling in. We have Afghanistan, which was the worst, most embarrassing moment in the history of our country. What he has done to our country, and her too, what they've done to our country, she has been a horrible vice president. She's considered the worst vice president in the history of our country.
Don't mean to interrupt you, but would you consider taking the cognitive test?
Mr. President.
I would love.
Bro, they keep asking him the same question. He's answered it. He said yes. Would you consider taking a cognitive test? He said yes. He said, I would like for any person running for president to take a cognitive test. And they just keep asking the same question. They asked literally like 3 times in that 2-minute clip. Just goodness gracious. Oh, my goodness. All right, let's get to the Kamala Harris part of this because it is absolutely hilarious. Check it out.
Some of your own supporters, including Republicans on Capitol Hill, have labeled Vice President Kamala Harris, who is the first Black and Asian American woman to serve as vice president and be on a major party ticket, as a DEI hire. Is that acceptable language to you? And will you tell those Republicans and those supporters to stop it?
How do you define DEI? Go ahead. How do you define
diversity, equity, inclusion?
Okay, yeah, go ahead. Is that what your definition?
Give me
a definition then. Would you give me a definition
DEI.
of that? Give me a definition of that.
Sir, I'm asking you a question,
No,
a
you
very
have to
direct question.
define it for me if you would.
I just defined it, sir. Do you believe that Vice President Kamala Harris is only on the ticket because she is a Black woman?
Well, I can say no. I think it's maybe a little bit different. So I've known her a long time indirectly, not directly very much, and she was always of Indian heritage, and she was only promoting Indian heritage. I didn't know she was Black until a number of years ago when she happened to turn Black, and now she wants to be known as Black. So I don't know, is she Indian or is she Black?
She has always identified as a Black woman. She went to a historically Black college.
I respect either one, but she obviously doesn't, because she was Indian all the way, and then all of a sudden she made a turn, and she became a Black person.
Just to be clear, sir, do you believe that she is...
I think somebody should look into that, too, when you continue in a very hostile, nasty...
This whole narrative that, oh my goodness, Kamala went to a historically Black college, as if nobody of any other race could go to a historically Black college. As if, like, that automatically qualifies you as being Black. Yep. Went to a HBCU. Yep. Gotta be Black. Yep. It's certified. Yep. Mm-hmm. Went to a pledge to sorority. You know. Yep. It's stamped and approved. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. She ain't Indian. She Black. The fuck does that mean? Excuse my language, but like, what? You gotta go to a HBCU and pledge to be Black? Like, that automatically qualifies you as Black? What the... Oh my goodness. Some people are just... Yeah. Y'all get my frustration. I'm gonna leave you... I'm just gonna leave y'all with this clip right here. Because it's on point. That
motherfucker Trump is a monster. He said the quiet part out loud, which is the truth. Boy, I'm over here rolling. I've been laughing my black ass off all day long. When this motherfucker said she was an Indian and now she's Black. And a few years ago, somebody need to look into that. Listen, that's the goddamn truth. You not Black. You pandering to the Black community. You Asian and Indian. Her father ain't Jamaican like everybody's saying. Nah, he ain't. They Asian and Indian. Boy, Trump got me rolling over here. He telling the truth. And just like the Black community, they don't want to hear the truth. Kamala Harris ain't nothing but a puppet and a fraud.
Couldn't have said it any better myself. Puppet and a fraud. Pandering to Black folks, trying to make it seem as if she's Black when really she's Indian. Stop it with the nonsense. Stop it. Goodness gracious. So yeah, Trump went into hostile territory and handled business as he was supposed to do. Kamala didn't show up, but she's supposed to be blackety black. Couldn't show up for the Black journalists, huh? You supposed to be blackety black. Too busy pandering though. Ain't got time for Black folks unless you need them, right? Same old song and dance every 4 years. Same old song and dance. It ain't changed. But hey, who am I? I'm just a guy that makes videos online. Y'all stay safe out there. Peace and love. I'm out.